Mainland Chinese people are facing all kinds of natural disasters. Just in early July, Dongting Lake in Hunan province had a 226 meters deep dam burst, causing water to spill out everywhere, submerging many villages and residential areas, and forcing tens of thousands of people to evacuate urgently. In eastern China, nearly 500,000 people had to evacuate when heavy rains caused the water levels of the Yangtze River and other rivers to rise to the highest levels in 50 years, resulting in serious floods. Before the water could recede, Typhoon Gimi made landfall on July 27, bringing huge amounts of rain and submerging many cities in Guangdong province. Heavy rain fell in areas of Guangdong, Guangxi, Jiangxi, Hunan, and Hubei, with extremely heavy rain in some areas of Hunan. Some netizens posted videos saying that the heavy rainstorm in Maizhou was very serious. Maizhou City, Wuhua County of Maizhou City, and streets in Ningxi City were all flooded. The floods overflowed the bridges, some homes were flooded, and many vehicles were submerged. Typhoon Gimi passed through Fujian and moved northward. On Saturday, 27th, it moved from Zhujiang City in Jiangxi Province into Guangxi City in Hubei Province. In the past 2 days, under its influence, strong winds and rainstorms have affected nearly 800,000 people in Fujian Province. From July 27th to 28th, there were strong winds of magnitude 6 to 8 and gusts of magnitude 9 in the Bohai Sea, Yellow Sea, East China Sea, Diaoyu Islands, Taiwan Strait, Yangtze River estuary area, Hangzhou Bay, and the coasts of Shandong, Jiangsu, Shanghai, Zhejiang, and Fujian. As of 8:30 on Saturday, 17 cities and counties in Guangdong Province had issued red rainstorm warnings, and 24 cities and counties had issued orange rainstorm warnings, involving Guangzhou, Huizhou, and Maizhou. The water vapor transported by Gimi over long distances has brought typhoon rain to the northeast. Xi'an, Liaoning Province, has experienced the heaviest rainfall in 73 years since the 25th. Trams were suspended across the board due to excessive water accumulation, and the city was effectively shut down for 1 day. Low-lying roads in Jinzhou City were flooded. Liaoning Province transferred 17,892 people. Heilongjiang issued early warnings for floods in small and medium rivers, geological disasters, and flash floods. Gansu in the northwest also experienced the strongest regional heavy rain since 1961, causing many casualties. Linjiang, Jilin, is in an emergency and requires residents living below the third floor to evacuate immediately. China's Jilin province continues to be hit by heavy rains, and the flood disaster continues to escalate. On July 28, Linjiang City in Jilin officially issued an emergency notice, requiring all residents living below the third floor and all residents living in bungalows to move to higher places immediately. Jilin's official WeChat public account, Linjiang released a message on the same day that on July 28, the Linjiang City Government Flood Control and Drought Relief Headquarters of Jilin Province issued a transfer notice. Due to the Yalu River water level exceeding the warning line, the situation is critical. Residents living below the third floor, residents in low-lying areas can be appropriately expanded, are requested to move to higher places or move to higher floors, and all bungalow residents should move to higher places immediately. On the 28th, the Linjiang City Government Flood Control and Drought Relief Headquarters launched the Level 1 emergency response to flood control and ordered the entire city to implement suspension of classes, work, production, operations, and business. Earlier that day, the authorities also issued a notice asking citizens to not rush to buy supplies, stay at home unless necessary, and do not risk waiting. If you receive a transfer notice, transfer immediately. Videos posted by mainland netizens show that on the 28th, the flood in Linjiang City continued to rise, and the turbid floodwater was close to the deck of a bridge. Outside the balcony protection net of a residential building, you can see the rushing floodwater getting closer and closer. Linjiang officials previously announced that Linjiang Vice Mayor and Public Security Bureau Director Xia Kun and Auxiliary Police Officer Li Xiangshen lost contact during the flood prevention and rescue. Their whereabouts are still unknown. However, according to public information, Xia Kun, as the deputy mayor, is not in charge of work such as flood prevention and rescue, but is responsible for maintaining stability for the people. On July 25, a staff member of the Linjiang Public Security Bureau told the Beijing News reporter that the auxiliary police officer Li Xiangshen, who was washed away with Xia Kun, was Xia Kun's driver. At that time, the two were washed away with their car. After the typhoon center entered Jiangxi and Hubei in sequence, although it weakened into a tropical depression, the residual circulation still invaded Guangdong, Zhejiang, Hunan, Shanghai, Jiangsu, Anhui, Shandong, Henan, Hebei, Beijing, Liaoning, and other places, causing different levels of disaster. Online videos show that heavy rains in Maizhou, Guangdong, have caused flooding in many places in Maizhou. Streets in Maizhou City, Wuhua County, and Ning City have been flooded. In some places, the floods have overflowed bridges, homes have been inundated, and many vehicles on the streets are soaked in water. Shenzhen was also hit by violent storms. Many large trees were blown down, many cars were smashed, and the streets were flooded, leaving a mess. Yimi also brought strong winds to Shanghai. On July 27, a delivery boy was unfortunately hit by a tree that blew down and died. Flooding is also rare in Shenyang, far in the northeast, with serious water accumulation in streets and residential areas. Local netizens said it was related to the collapse of the local Hun River rubber dam and subsequent flood discharge. On July 28, heavy rainfall triggered a landslide in Lincoln, Xi'an Township, Nanyu District, Hengyang City, Hunan Province, causing houses to be washed away and burying 21 people. By 1928 that night, all 21 people were found, 15 of whom were killed and 6 injured. At 11 o'clock that night, the Midu hydropower station in Chenzhou, Hunan Province, also burst because the gate could not be opened. Some netizens posted a video saying that the elderly and children at home were all flooded. On the 28th, trains on many railways in Beijing were also suspended due to rain. The China Railway Beijing Bureau announced that some trains on the Beijing-Harbin High-Speed Railway, Tianjin-Qinhuang High-Speed Railway, as well as ordinary railway trains on the Jingyuan, Jingcheng, Jingtong, Handan-Changchun, and Hanji lines have been temporarily suspended. Although the disasters in various places were serious, Chinese Communist Party officials downplayed the news. On July 27 and 28, there was no topic related to the floods in Weibo hot searches and Baidu hot searches. Hunan landslide destroys farmhouse business, causing 18 casualties. On the morning of July 28, a landslide occurred in Nanyu District, Hengyang, Hunan. A villager's house was destroyed by mudslides. The collapsed house was a farmhouse business providing food and accommodation. It was the peak tourist season, causing 12 deaths and 6 injuries. According to a report by the paper, the official WeChat public account of Hunan Daily stated that at 8:18 on July 28, a landslide caused by mountain torrents in Yulin Village, Xi'an Township, Nanyu District, Hengyang City, caused a one-story house to be washed away, burying 18 people. The official Weibo released another message at 12:56, stating that as of 12:10, 18 people had been rescued, with 12 killed and 6 injured. Yulin Village, where the incident occurred, is located on the west side of the Nanyu Hengshan Scenic Area, only a few kilometers away. Most tourists going to the Hengshan Scenic Area choose to stay in homestays near the scenic area. Currently, Baidu Map shows that the road from Yulin Village to the Nanyu Hengshan Scenic Area is closed. The person in charge of a homestay near the Nanyu Hengshan Scenic Area said that the residential building buried by the landslide was built by the villagers of their village. As a farmhouse with food and accommodation, it had been in operation for more than 10 years. This time, it happened to be the weekend, and many people came to the mountain to escape the summer heat and stayed in the farmhouse. The owner of another homestay said that they have suspended business due to the landslide. A Hunan netizen on the mainland Douyin platform also said, "My parents took my children to this village for summer vacation. I just called them. Fortunately, they live on the other side. They were afraid of accidents and have returned this morning. We went to play in the collapsed house when we were escaping the summer last year. I was scared to death. It rained heavily when I climbed the mountain yesterday. I hurried back to Changsha when I got down the mountain. There are still 300 people trapped in Hengshan, Hunan." The Hunan netizen Hanai on the Douyin platform also said in the comment area, "Shangfeng Temple is waiting for notification. There is no signal on the